time to create the reptile type in Photoshop. Are you ready? I'm ready. Has there ever been a time that I'm not ready? I'm always ready. I mean, come on, you've seen the videos at designsbymark.com. I'm always ready. Anybody that does graphics is ready. Either you don't like graphics or you do. And those people that do like graphics are ready. They are ready to do tutorials in Photoshop. I don't know what it is. We're just born that way. We came down to earth. And now there's Photoshop. So we get Photoshop and now we're just in love. We love it, Photoshop. We love everything about Photoshop. So, I really like it. So I'm gonna get started here because I can't hold off any longer. I gotta go ahead and start the tutorial. I'm going crazy. Okay, here we go. Go up here to File and select New. Okay, now you probably haven't done that before. Let me go ahead and say that again. Go up here to File and then News, right? Okay, I know you know what I'm talking about. Okay, now for the width of this image, let's go ahead and make that 800 for the width and make sure that's set to pixels over here. And for the height, we're gonna go about 300 pixels, resolution 72, color mode RGB color, and the background contents is white. Make sure, just click on the little drop down menu here, make sure that is set on white. And then when you have all that, go ahead and click OK. Alright, here's our image here. I'm going to come up here to view and go down here to actual pixels so I can view the entire image at 100% in Photoshop. And I'm just going to go ahead and center the image here on the screen. Alright, and now what we need to do is create the type. We're going to go ahead right off the bat. We're going to go ahead and create a type layer with the type that we want to apply our reptile effect to. And so come right over to the toolbar and select the type tool, horizontal type tool, and then click on the image to get the cursor. A little blinking cursor there comes along, and it's the one we want. I'm going to come in here and just go REPTILE. And that's reptile. That is the type that I'm going to apply the reptile type to. And I'm excited. So let's go ahead and hold down the control key and then click on that and to center it right in the middle of the image. That's where we need it, folks. Right in the middle there. Okay? And then when you have that, to confirm that, go ahead and press the enter key on the keyboard. All right. Okay, now let's hold down the control key on the keyboard. Hold it down. Oh, by the way, if you've noticed that you can see the color of my type, well, that color is actually the color we're going to use later on in the tutorial. But you can have, right now for this, you can have any color you want. You can just make this reptile type or whatever your type is. You can make it black, blue, as long as it's visual, so we can, you know, so we can see it. But so yeah, any color will do right here. Okay, let's go ahead and get on with the tutorial. Hold down the control key and then click on the type layer. Okay, and you can see when we do that, it selects the letters. Okay, right on the type layer there. And then so now all you have to do is just click on the reptile type layer there and just go ahead and throw it away. There you go. It's no longer there, but we still retain our selected type here. Okay. Alright, now we need to switch over to the Channels palette. Come right over here to the Channels palette. If you don't see the Channels palette, come up here to Window, and then come right down here to Channels. Make sure that is checked, and you'll see the Channels palette come up here. Okay, alright, so come over to the Channels palette, just like that. Just like that. And now make a new channel. Come down here to the bottom of the Channels palette, click on the little button down here that says Create New Channel. Click on that button. And we have Alpha 1. Alpha 1, do you have a copy?
Yeah, coming on nice and clear there, if you can see it on.
Thank you. Alpha 1 out. Okay, anyways, so we have Alpha 1. Alpha 1. Okay, it's like this meteor that comes down from space. It's called Alpha 1. Alpha 1. All right. And so after we have that, I want you to name this Alpha 1 Original. So we name it Original. Go in here and go Original. Just like that. And then when you're done, go ahead and click enter on the keyboard, of course. All right, now come over to the toolbar and don't click on anything yet, but press the X key on the keyboard a couple times, so until the foreground color is white and the background color is black. It may already be that way. If it's that way, then you can just go ahead and leave it. Now we're gonna fill this. We're gonna need to fill this selection in with white, and a really quick way to do that is to hold down the Alt key in the Macintosh. That's the Option key, and press the backspace key on the keyboard. So hold down Alt, Macintosh Option, and then press backspace. And on the Macintosh, I think, let's see, backspace. I think that's the Delete key on the Macintosh instead of the backspace key. So, but it should fill in with white. Now we're going to duplicate this channel here that we created. So drag that channel to the new channel icon at the very bottom there. And then double click on where it says, it's going to say original copy. So double click on that because we're going to go ahead and rename that. We're going to rename that. We're going to name that blurred. Okay, so just go ahead and put, again, that's blurred. B-L-U-R-R-E-D. And that's it. And go ahead and press the enter key on the keyboard to confirm that. And we're done with that. Next step. We are going to apply a Gaussian blur to this layer. So come up here to filter and then come down here to blur and then down here to Gaussian blur. All right, and then pull the Gaussian blur up here. Now where it says radius 3.5. Okay, now that's the setting it's at right now. That looks pretty good. Try 3.0. Okay, whoops, 3.0, and look at that. And what we're going to do here with the Gaussian blur is make it look like there's a bevel on the text. So we're creating this like bevel look. Okay. Now don't turn it up really high like that. Okay, this is not what we want. We don't want it to look like that. That's just a bunch of, you know, goulash or whatever. And that's just not going to work. So we have to turn that down here to 3.0. Or we can go about 3.5. Now, if you have really large text, if you're doing this to put this in the magazine or, you know, like a game cover or something cool, and it's a big, you know, you have like 300 dpi text and it's huge, then you're going to need to up the radius. But no matter what setting it is, it must look about like this in the preview. See how that is? Just really fine around the edges, and it sort of looks a little 3D. Okay, you got the point. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Let's get out of here. All right, let's go ahead and switch back to the layers palette. And now click on the background layer to activate it. And now we're going to fill this text in with like this yellowish color. Okay, it's the color that I have on my foreground color right now, and I'll show you how to get that color right now. Go ahead and click on the foreground color and look at the hex value input area here, and you can see it's E8F195. That's the color that I have, and that's what we're going to use for the reptile type. When you have that, go ahead and click OK. All right, and the next step, make a new layer. Come down here to the bottom of the layers palette, click on the new layer icon. There we go. Double click on that, double click on the name of that layer to rename it. There we go, and it'll highlight there. And I want you to rename that layer beveled text. Okay, so come in here and go beveled, just how it sounds. Beveled text. Whoop. There we go. Is that right? No, here we go. We're losing it here. There we go. And press enter on the keyboard to confirm that. There we go. All right, and now we're going to fill this selected text here in with a color, and the color that we're going to fill it in with is already my color on the foreground, you can see here. All right, because I've set that color before I did the tutorial and all that stuff. So, but I'll show you how to get that color. So you need to get this color to continue on with the tutorial. Click on the foreground, and then down here where the hex value input is, a real easy way, enter in E8F195, okay? E8F195. After you have that, go ahead and click OK. All right. All right, now we're getting to the cool part of the tutorial. Okay, now we're going to fill in the text. Hold down the Alt key on the keyboard, and that is the Option key on the Macintosh, and click on the backspace key to fill that in with the foreground color, which is that yellow color that we chose. And the Macintosh, that is Option Delete. And so we're going to go ahead and release the Alt key. And there we go, we're ready to go here. Okay, next step, I want you to come up here to filter, and then come down here to render, and then down here to lighting effects. This is really cool. This is where it gets really cool. All right, so now we have to do ready. All right, now down here on the lighting effects, texture channel. Okay, you can see the drop down menu right here. And from the drop-down menu, we're going to select, what do we got here? Blurred. Let's select the blurred channel from the texture channel menu. Right there, there it is. And we have this large, we need to create a spotlight that looks just like the one I have here. When you first opened up the lighting effects, it might have looked something like this. It might have looked like this. Okay, what I want you to do, we need to make the spotlight look like this. Up here, drag that all the way up to the top. So we have this this point going all the way up here, and then I want you to make it sort of like almost rounded. There we go. And I'm just going to pull it in a little bit. I don't know if I can do that. Rotate, rotate, rotate. Here we go. All right, and up there, Looking good, looking good. It's the reptile text and the lighting effect filter. All right. Alrighty, there we go. That's where I want it. So, and then now we have to make some adjustments here in the lighting effects, okay? Now, for the intensity, right about here, I went about 60, and some of these settings are really critical in order to get the right effect. The most important one you want to be careful with is the flat. Down here, the flat setting, it's the height setting actually, but you're adjusting how flat you want the bevel or the lighting effects to hit the lettering and all that. So I'm going about a number 10. See, I've slid this down to right number 10, and that's giving me a nice flat top on top of the reptile type. And so, but anyways, up here to intensity, move that up to about 60. Okay, and then focus, we're going about 100 on the wide, and then down here gloss, we're going to put that. I put that about 54. You can go about 50, 54, and the material is, I put minus 100, so I took it all the way over to the plastic side here, slid it all the way over, and exposure, about minus 50 for exposure. And ambience, you don't really, not too important, you can go ahead and leave that at 0. But you can always experiment with this, okay, so until you get that really good looking bevel text. So, all right, so I'm all done with there. I'm gonna come up here to OK, because I like it. And there we go, looking cool. Let's get on to the next step here. All right, now we can deselect. Come up here to select and deselect. And now cruise over to the channels palette here. And I'm going to come down here and make a new channel. All right, after you've done that, we're going to need to name this channel. Double click where it says Alpha 1, and then come in here and go scales, enter in scales, just like that, and press the enter key on the keyboard. There we go, done deal. And make sure white is the foreground color over on the toolbar. It looks like it's white right now, so we're in pretty good shape. After that, come up here to, let's see here, go up to filter, and then come down here to texture, and I want you to select stained glass. This is going to give our like reptile skin look. And so in these settings right here, I want you to enter for the cell size, put in 2, and then border thickness is going to be 1. If your text is about the same size as mine, then these settings will work just fine. But if you have larger text, 150 dpi or 300 dpi or larger, you may need to increase the cell size to about 3 or 5. But it's all about experimentation. Okay, and when you're done with that, go ahead and click OK, and you can see we have our stained glass reptile skin. Looks like something on the side of a snake or something. That's what it's all about, folks. All right, now come up here to Image, Adjustments, and select Invert, just like that. And now hold down the Control key on the Macintosh, that is the Command key, and click on the channel named Original on the Channels palette right here. I'm going to hold down the Control key and click on Original. And you can see that. You can barely see it, but our text is selected over the reptile. Now let's invert that selection up here. Go to Select Inverse. And now press the Delete key on the keyboard. Alrighty. And now hold down the Control key one more time. And on the Macintosh, that is the Command key. And press. Or go over to the Channels palette. And now click on the Scales channel. There we go. And check it out. So we've selected the type, and we've also selected the scales in the type. Okay, let's go back over to the Layers palette and make a new layer. Click on the background layer to activate it. Make a new layer here, and make sure, drag that layer above all the other layers, just so it's at the top there, and double click on it. I need you to rename that layer to Scales. There we go. Does that look right there? Not even close. There we go. I'm going to press Enter on the keyboard to confirm that. Now we're going to fill this selection in with a color. It's a magical color for the tutorial. Come over to the toolbar and click on the foreground color on the toolbar to bring up the color picker. And then come down here to the hex value input area. And I want you to enter in these numbers. Enter in 00833A. 9. And we have our color. This is the color that we need here. So and when you're done with that, go ahead and press or click OK. I don't know, can you actually press OK if I pressed on the screen? No, it's not. It doesn't work. I actually have to click it with the mouse. Okay, here we go. We are going to fill the selected area in with the color that we just chose. So come down here to hold down the Alt key on the keyboard. And then after that, press the backspace key. And on the Macintosh, that is Option Delete. Okay, we're done. That's it. No, we're just kidding. We're not done yet, but we're getting close. All right, and then next, come up here to File and select Render, and then select Lighting Effects. And there's not too much we have to do here in Lighting Effects. This is really cool. All you have to do is just come down here to Texture Channel and select Scales. All right, and that's it. That is it. You don't have to do any more, okay? Because I know Lighting Effects, it takes a long time to make all the adjustments and stuff. So don't worry about it. Just after you select Scales from the Texture Channel, come right up here and click OK. And you're done. Almost. I got you again. Well, we're not completely done yet, but now I'm going to do this a different way here. Come up to Select and come down here to Load Selection. And from the Channel menu here, I want you to select Original. Select Original and click OK. There we go. Looking pretty cool. Now, come up here to Select and come down here to it says Modify. And then we're going to contract the selection. We're going to contract that selection about 3. Look at that. Now, if you have large type, let me give you my speech here. If you have large type, about 150 or 300 dpi or larger, you may need to enter a larger or higher contract value. Okay. All right, now back to the tutorial. Come up here to Select. No, wait, we already did that. Okay, we're going to come up here to Select and go to Inverse, and then press the Delete key on the keyboard. Check it out. And then now just come up here to Select and go to Deselect. Check it out. It's reptile time. The reptile type is basically finished, but there's other things that we can do to it to make it look even cooler. There's one cool thing I want to show you about the reptile type. And go ahead and over here to the background layer, and I want you to make that invisible. And then come up here to Select, and then Select All. And then go to Edit. Whoops. I'm going to need to activate the Scales layer. Excuse me. Come up here to Edit, and then go down here to Copy Merged. And then I want you to make all the layers invisible. And then come back up here to Edit, and go down here to Paste. Now what we're going to do is we're going to select each individual letter, and then we're just going to combine everything together just to give it this cool effect. You don't have to do this, but I think it's just awesome. And I had a lot of guys asking me, how'd you do that? So I have to include it on the tutorial. I can't make everybody happy, but I try. So I'm going to go ahead and include this on the tutorial. After you've done that, you must do those few steps that we just did, and then come over here to the toolbar and select the lasso tool. And I want you to select one of the letters. And then hold down the Shift key on the keyboard, and then move. Whoops. Messed up there. Let me go ahead and try that again. Here we go. And then come over to the toolbar and select the Move tool. Hold down the Shift key on the keyboard and then tap the left arrow on the keyboard. And we're going to just squeeze that letter. We're going to squeeze all the letters in together. I'm going to select the lasso tool. I'm going to come over here and down here. Now remember guys, I did this tutorial originally back, it was about 4 years ago I think. And so things are a little different, but I didn't actually include this part on the CD. It was a Mark's Photoshop 5.5 effects CD where I had this tutorial, and I didn't include this part on there. So, but now I am. I'm gonna go ahead and include it on there because we have a little more time on the video. So, anyways, after you selected the type of the lasso tool, come over to the toolbar and select the Move tool, and then hold down the Shift key and then hit the left arrow on the keyboard, and we're gonna go ahead and move these letters together just like this. And you will get better at this. The more you do it, you will get faster at it. I just make it look like a long process. It's not really a long process, but hold down the Shift key and press the left key on the keyboard. There we go. I'll come over here and select the lasso tool and select the type. Go up here, select the type all the way around, just like in a circle. Hold down the Move tool. All right, and select the Shift key on the keyboard, and go ahead and hit the left arrow key on the keyboard. And we're gonna go ahead and move those over like that, just like that. We're gonna go ahead and nudge that. Whoa! What happened? There we go. Okay, and just next to the P there, I want everything to just kind of go like syncing together. There, everything's just everything is like magnetic. Okay, I'm gonna select the Move tool, and then I'm gonna hold on the Shift key, and then tap the left arrow key on the keyboard, and we're gonna go ahead and move that over. There we go, and then I'm going to select the lasso tool one more time and select what I have left here. And then select the Move tool, hold down the Shift key, and then tap the left arrow key on the keyboard. And we are done. We are done. Go up here to Select, Deselect, and go ahead and you can send that type on there. I'm going to come over here to Image, Adjustments, Layer, Layer Style, and go over here to Drop Shadow. And we're going to add a Drop Shadow. There we go. We get the drop shadow now on the reptile type. Yes. Yes. I'm going to go ahead and click OK, I think, as soon as I get this done here. Here we go. Click OK, and I'm going to make the background layer visible, and check it out. And now we can do other things too. You can go ahead and sharpen up that text a lot if you want. Come up here to Filter, go down here to Sharpen, and go to Unsharpen Mask, and you can really make it look sharp because you know, sometimes that's how, you know, reptile stuff really looks. You know, like prehistoric, old times type stuff. It really looks like that. So not too high though, because it might look kind of funny. But yeah, just sharpen it up a little bit, just like that with the Unsharpen Mask tool. 0.3, there we go, and take that down a little bit, just about like that. And there we go. That's looking pretty grungy there. And you can change the color. Just go up here to Image Adjustments, Hue and Saturation. You can change the color of the type. There's so many things you can do. You know, if you don't want that color that I picked out, you can go ahead and just adjust the hue on it and change the color. See that? So there's so many things you can do. I mean, it doesn't just end, you know, where the tutorial is. I wish sometimes that I had enough time on the videos to go through all these different things to show you how, you know, how much more things you can do with the effects that we do. But I do the best I can. But yeah, these are pretty cool. Check it out. This is a blue one right here. That looks pretty hot right there. See, that looks really cool there. I could like do something with that. Like if there was a game like a dinosaur game or something, I would like probably use this type for the cover and make it look like that, because that is just awesome. I really love that look, and I really love this effect, and that's why I had it on the have it on the video and on the CD. So but check that out. There you go. And you can see up here at the very top, it looks very straight, like it's cut off. I've never seen that before. Maybe it's because, you know, when you apply the stained glass filter, it just randomly puts these puts the little stained glass crystals in there. But most of the time I do it, I don't get that look there. I don't really see that effect. And there's a way to probably touch that up too. You can just go ahead and activate the scales layer on the layer palette and just come in here with the eraser and just smooth that out a little bit. But that's basically the effect. Okay? And now you know how to make reptile type in Photoshop. Have fun, everybody. We'll see you later.